Welcome back, brave souls, to a realm where shadows dance and destinies intertwine. Our tale resumes on the cusp of peril and promise. When last we journeyed together, our intrepid heroes narrowly escaped a relentless tide of skeletal warriors, their bones clattering with otherworldly determination. The Emerald Tiderunner, captained by the ever-vigilant Jelani, now cuts through treacherous waters, bearing our adventurers towards the enigmatic Drakestide Cove. But fate, dear listeners, is a tapestry of many threads. Even now, a new band of heroes assembles, summoned by the mysterious organization known only as the Company. Their paths are destined to converge at the regional headquarters in Drakestide Cove, where secrets as deep as the ocean itself await discovery. Yet before these new champions can embark on their fateful journey, a vital task looms before them. They must venture into a realm that sends shivers down the spines of even the most hardened adventurers, the Shadowfell. Imagine, if you will, a world perpetually cloaked in twilight. The air itself seems to whisper forgotten sorrows, and reality bends like a reflection in a cracked mirror. This is the Shadowfell, an ethereal domain where the veil between life and death flutters like a tattered shroud. It is here, in this land of eternal dusk, that our heroes must tread. Their mission: to retrieve a crucial ally from the very heart of this foreboding realm. But beware, for the Shadowfell is more than mere gloom and despair. It is the dominion of the enigmatic Raven Queen, whose inscrutable gaze falls upon all who enter her domain. And yet, the Raven Queen is not the only power that lurks in these shadowed lands. Unspeakable entities, creatures born of nightmare and forgotten lore, stalk the misty landscapes. Every step our heroes take could lead them deeper into peril or closer to their goal. In the depths of night, when even shadows seem to hold their breath, a pulsating gateway manifests. It looms before our heroes, a swirling vortex of darkness that defies comprehension. Before this yawning maw of the unknown stand two figures, their forms etched against the writhing darkness. Kithri, the one they call the Commander, cuts an imposing silhouette. Her green skin, visible beneath gleaming silver armor, seems to absorb the pale moonlight. With each breath, her armor shifts, the soft clink of metal against metal a counterpoint to the gateway's ominous hum. Beside her, a figure both familiar and alien, Wyrmraex, the half-dragon. His presence is a study in contrasts, scales glinting where human skin should be, eyes glowing with an inner fire that speaks of ancient bloodlines and untold power. As he moves, there's a soft rustle, the whisper of scales against cloth, a sound that seems to dance on the edge of human hearing. Hovering nearby, a sight to behold even in this realm of shadows, is Dragilduni, Kithri's draconic companion. Her iridescent scales catch and refract the meager moonlight, creating a dazzling display that seems to push back the encroaching gloom. With each beat of her mighty wings, a gust of wind sweeps over our heroes, carrying with it the scent of ozone and distant storms. As Kithri and Wyrmraex exchange a final glance, no words are needed. The weight of their mission hangs heavy in the air, a tangible presence as real as the portal before them. With a shared nod, they step forward, the sound of their footfalls swallowed by the gateway's hungry maw.
The moment of truth is upon us, Wyrmraex. The Raven Queen's servant awaits our arrival on the other side. Are you prepared for what we might find?
Heed my words carefully, Kithri. The Shadowfell is a realm where reality bends and twists upon itself. Trust nothing you see, nothing you hear, not even your own senses. In this place, your instincts may be your only true ally.
I am a Kithrak of the Githyanki, Wyrmraex. Deception and misdirection are tools I have wielded since I hatched. Let the Shadowfell try its worst. I am ready.
That is good to hear, Kithri. Your reputation precedes you. Just don't be overconfident in the Shadowfell.
In the silence before the plunge, Wyrmraex's draconic eyes gleam with a potent mixture of anticipation and hidden knowledge. A low, rumbling exhale escapes him, the sound barely audible yet charged with unspoken secrets. Beside him, Kithri's resolve manifests in the soft creak of leather as her hand instinctively tightens on the hilt of her sword. The metallic whisper of her grip adjusting speaks volumes of the tension coursing through her. A moment of respite breaks the mounting pressure. Kithri turns to Dragildoin, her movements accompanied by the gentle clink of armor. As she places a hand on the dragon's snout, the scrape of scales against gauntlet cuts through the air. This gesture of tenderness stands in stark contrast to her earlier bravado, a silent testament to the bond between rider and dragon. Dragildoin responds with a low, melodious rumble that reverberates through the night air. It's a sound rich with meaning, understanding, affection, and a plaintive note of worry that tugs at the heartstrings. The dragon's breath, warm and carrying the faint scent of smoke, washes over Kithri in a final caress. The moment stretches, filled with unspoken farewells. Then, with a deep, steadying inhale that's audible in the stillness, Kithri squares her shoulders. Her armor shifts and clinks, a sonorous reminder of the dangers that await. She steps forward, the crunch of gravel under her boot seeming to echo in the tense silence. The pulsating darkness of the portal greets her, its energy humming with an otherworldly resonance that sets teeth on edge. As Kithri breaches its threshold, there's a sound like a rush of wind followed by the muffled thud of Wyrmraex's footsteps close behind. In an instant, they're gone. The portal swallows them whole, leaving behind only a fading ripple in the air and the lingering scent of ozone. The sudden absence is deafening, broken only by Dragildoin's mournful cry, a haunting, keening sound that pierces the night and fades slowly, like the last notes of a tragic opera. The dragon's lament hangs in the air, a poignant reminder of the perilous journey undertaken and the uncertain fate that awaits our heroes in the shadowy realm beyond.
Guard our path home, my faithful friend. I swear by all that I am, I will return to you once our mission is complete.
The Shadowfell unfurls before Kithri and Wyrmraex, a nightmarish tapestry woven from the very essence of despair. Gone is the familiar world they left behind, replaced by a realm where hope comes to wither and die. The ground beneath their feet pulses with a sickly, malevolent energy, each step accompanied by a soft, squelching sound that sets nerves on edge. Kithri's finely honed senses cut through the Shadowfell's deception. Her eyes narrow, scanning the undulating darkness. There, a flicker of movement, a rustle in the gloom that speaks of imminent danger. Her breath catches, the soft sound amplified in the oppressive silence. Beside her, Wyrmraex tenses, scales rasping softly against armor as he shifts into a defensive stance. From the surrounding murk, shadowy figures begin to coalesce. Their forms blur and shift, as if struggling to maintain cohesion. The scrape of ethereal steel against incorporeal scabbards fills the air as weapons of shadow and malice materialize in their grasp. Suddenly, the formless shadows crystallize into nightmarish clarity. 5 wraiths materialize from the gloom, their arrival heralded by a bone-chilling wail that echoes across the twisted landscape. Waves of despair radiate from their ethereal forms, threatening to crush the very souls of our heroes. Kithri grits her teeth, the soft grind audible in the unnatural stillness. But the horrors are not done manifesting. From the inky depths, 3 shadow demons emerge. Their eyes smoulder with infernal malice, the soft crackle of unholy fire, the only sound to break the deathly silence. The air grows impossibly heavier, laden with the promise of violence. Kithri's hand tightens on her weapon, the leather of her grip creaking in protest. Wyrmraex's low growl rumbles through the air, a defiant challenge to the encroaching darkness.
The denizens of the Shadowfell have noticed our presence.
The air splits with a resonant hum as Kithri's greatsword blazes to life, silvery light cascading from its edge. Each swing is a symphony of destruction, the blade singing through the air with deadly precision. It cleaves through the wraith's ethereal form, the impact a discordant clash of metal against shadow. The wraith's unearthly shriek pierces the gloom, its essence shredding like mist before a storm, dissipating into wisps of dark vapor that hiss as they fade.
Return to the void, you pale imitation of death.
I'll banish these abominations back to the darkness they crawled from.
Wyrmraex releases a fireball that hurtles towards their enemies, ending in a resounding blast that shakes the ground with immense force. The Shadowfell echoes with the aftermath of arcane devastation. The air crackles and pops, heavy with the scent of ozone and spent magic. Kithri's laboured breathing and the rasp of Wyrmraex's scales against armour punctuate the eerie silence. Both stand wounded but unbowed, their resolve a palpable force pushing back against the oppressive darkness. The malevolent whisper of wraiths circling, the soft scrape of shadow demons' claws against the ground as they prepare to renew their assault. Our heroes shift their stances, armour clinking softly as they ready themselves for the next onslaught. Suddenly, the preternatural quiet shatters. The sound of determined footsteps, crisp and clear, cuts through the murk. From the direction of the shrine, a new rhythm joins the deadly dance. 1, 2, 3 sets of feet, moving with purpose and precision. Emerging from the writhing shadows come 3 figures, their arrival heralded by the soft swish of cloaks against armour. 2 Shadowfell elves flank a central figure, their blades humming with an otherworldly resonance that sets teeth on edge. Between them strides a cleric, the metallic clink of their symbol, unmistakably that of the Grave Domain, a counterpoint to the soft pad of their feet. In a heartbeat, the tide of battle turns. The newcomers strike at the flanks of the shadowy horde, their coordinated assault a deadly percussion joining the symphony of combat. Blades whistle through the air, punctuated by the dull thud of impacts and the hiss of dissolving shadows. Confusion ripples through the ranks of wraiths and shadow demons. Their unearthly shrieks and growls blend into a cacophony of dismay as they whirl to face this new threat. Caught between hammer and anvil, the shadows find themselves in an unfamiliar position, that of prey rather than predator. As Kithri and Wyrmraex press their advantage, their attacks reinvigorated by this timely aid, the clash of steel and sizzle of magic fill the air. The battle surges towards its climax, each moment pregnant with possibility.
It seems the Raven Queen favours us this day. We won't waste this divine intervention.
It seems she does. This is true providence because this is the group we are here for.
Well then, let's get on with it.
In the brief lull between clashes of steel and shadow, a new sound emerges, the soft clink of glass against metal. Kithri's hand darts to her pack, fingers closing around a small vial. The pop of a cork echoes in the eerie quiet, followed by the gurgle of liquid as she tilts her head back, downing the potion in one swift motion. The effect is immediate and audible. A soft sizzle fills the air as Kithri's wounds begin to close, flesh knitting together with supernatural speed. Her breath, once laboured, steadies and deepens. But the respite is short-lived. The wraiths, their forms writhing like smoke in a tempest, sense the arrival of new threats. Their attention shifts, spectral heads turning with an audible whoosh of displaced air. As one, they surge towards Malveth, the Shadowfell cleric, their approach heralded by a bone-chilling wail that seems to sap the very warmth from the air. Malveth stands his ground, the soft jingle of his holy symbol a defiant counterpoint to the wraith's unearthly cries. Yet even his stalwart defence cannot repel them all. A sound like ice cracking splits the air as one wraith slips past, its spectral fingers plunging into Malveth's very essence. For a moment it seems as though he might falter, the wraith's touch draining more than just life force. But then, a change. The air around Malveth begins to hum with power, a low, resonant tone that speaks of unshakable faith. His faith, an invisible but palpable force, pushes back against the encroaching darkness. The wraith's assault blunted against the cleric's indomitable spirit.
Your touch means nothing, creature of unlife. The Raven Queen's blessing flows through me, and by her will, you shall be unmade.
The air crackles with anticipation as Wyrmraex begin casting with a low, guttural chant rising from his throat, each syllable pulsing with arcane power. The atmosphere ignites. A roaring fireball erupts from his outstretched hands, its birth heralded by a deafening whoosh. The spell hurtles through the gloom, trailing sparks and leaving the acrid scent of brimstone in its wake. As the fireball's echoes fade, a new sound emerges, the clear, resonant voice of Malveth. His prayer cuts through the chaos, each word ringing with divine authority. The air shimmers and hums as a guardian of faith materializes, its arrival announced by a burst of radiance that momentarily banishes the shadows. The shadow demons shriek in agony as the guardian's light sears their essence. Their cries are a discordant melody of pain and fury, rising and falling in pitch as they writhe in the cleansing radiance. Now, the swift, nearly silent movement of the Shadowkai twins, Lyra and Kaelin. Their blades whisper through the air, a deadly duet of shadow and steel. Each strike is precisely timed, creating a syncopated beat of destruction. The twins move in perfect harmony, their movements producing a soft rustle of fabric and nothing more. The clash of their shadowy blades against demonic flesh produces an otherworldly sound, part metallic ring, part muffled thud. With each successful hit, the demon's forms distort and unravel, accompanied by a noise like tearing silk.
The shadows bow to us, brother. Let these interlopers feel the sting of our blades.
Together, sister, we shall purge this taint from our realm. For the Raven Queen.
The cacophony of battle reaches its zenith, a deafening crescendo of clashing steel, arcane explosions and unearthly shrieks. Then, in a heartbeat, it all changes. The last enemy, a writhing mass of shadow and malice, lets out a final gut-wrenching wail. Its form distorts, stretching and twisting impossibly before collapsing in on itself. The sound of its demise is like 1,000 whispers suddenly silenced, leaving in its wake a vacuum of noise so profound it's almost tangible. The air, once thick with malevolence and the acrid tang of dark magic, undergoes a transformation. The oppressive weight of the Shadowfell's gloom begins to lift, replaced by the sharp, clean scent of ozone that tickles the nose and makes the hair stand on end.
It seems our paths were destined to cross, servant of the Raven Queen. Your arrival was most fortuitous.
The threads of fate are woven in mysterious ways, Kithri of the Githyanki. Together we shall unravel the enigmas that lie before us.
Let us not linger here. The Shadowfell holds many more dangers, and even more surprises if we delay further.
The soft crunch of gravel beneath Kithri's boots as she approaches the weathered steps. Her armor, still warm from combat, creaks softly with each measured stride. As they draw nearer to the shrine's entrance, their elongated shadows stretch across the worn steps, creating a visual echo of their approach. The obsidian surface seems to drink in these shadows, the soft scrape of their movement against the stone barely audible, yet somehow amplified in the stillness. Behind them, the twins, Lyra and Kaelin, maintain their vigilant watch. They stand before the yawning entrance of the shrine. A faint sound emerges from its depths. It's barely perceptible at first, a low, pulsing hum that seems to emanate from the very stone itself. The sound grows slowly, building in intensity until it thrums through the ground beneath their feet, a discordant heartbeat of some ancient, slumbering power.
I am Malveth Vral, humble servant of she who weaves the threads of fate. Welcome, brave souls, to this sacred sanctuary of the Raven Queen.
Malveth's robes rustle softly as he turns, the whisper of fabric a prelude to the introduction of his companions. With a gesture that seems to part the very shadows, he directs attention to the two figures flanking him. The air grows thick with anticipation, the ambient sounds of the Shadowfell fading to a hushed whisper. Emerging from the gloom like spectres given form, Lyra and Kaelin step forward. Their arrival is heralded not by footsteps, but by a subtle shift in the air, a soft sigh of darkness coalescing around them. These Shadowkai elves, so alike they could be reflections in a shadowed mirror, embody the very essence of their race's bond with the ethereal. As Lyra and Kaelin take their places beside Malveth, the atmosphere around them shifts. The ambient sounds of the Shadowfell, the distant drip of water, the whisper of wind through unseen passages, seem to retreat, creating a pocket of preternatural quiet around the twins. In this bubble of silence, even the beat of one's own heart sounds thunderous. The twins stand ready, their presence a testament to the mysteries that lurk in the Twilight Realm.
These are Lyra and Kaelin Nightshade, twins born of shadow and sworn to the eternal service of our queen.
Well met, Malveth, Lyra, and Kaelin. I am Kithri, Kithrak of the Githyanki, and this is Wyrmraex, scion of the Dragon Lords and underboss of the company.
You both have fought with valor this day, and the Raven Queen's gaze surely rests upon you. Come, weary travellers. Let the blessed shadows of our sanctuary grant you respite and healing.
And so, dear listeners, we leave our intrepid heroes at the threshold of the Raven Queen's sacred sanctum. The echoes of battle still ring in their ears, the chill of Shadow Demon's touch lingering on their skin. What secrets will the temple's hallowed halls reveal? What unseen eyes may be watching their every move? As Malveth leads Wyrmraex and Kithri deeper into the shrine, the weight of countless ages presses upon them. The air itself seems to whisper with the voices of the departed, a constant reminder that in the Shadowfell the line between the living and the dead is as thin as a raven's feather. Join us next time as we delve deeper into the mysteries of the Raven Queen's domain, where every shadow holds a secret, and every secret holds the power to alter destinies. Until then, keep your wits sharp and your blades sharper, for in the realms of shadow and twilight, one never knows what lurks just beyond the veil of perception. Your journey through the realms of Ethoria has only just begun. The echoes of battle may fade, but the call to adventure rings eternal. Will you answer that call? Will you delve deeper into the mysteries that await, unravel the secrets of the Draketide coast, and face the darkness that threatens to consume all? The choice is yours, hero. Don't miss a single moment of this epic saga. Like this video to fuel the fires of adventure, and subscribe to our channel to ensure your place among the legends of Ethoria. Hit that notification bell, and you'll be the first to know when new episodes drop. Until next time, may your critical hits be many and your fumbles few.